Yo everyone, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I'm going to be going through a very important topic on characters in Marvel Rivals and something I've learned along the way just from previous years of gaming, over a decade playing competitive games. I am new to Marvel Rivals, but I think these tips do apply. They apply to Overwatch. I think they apply to every game that I have played, and hopefully you guys can learn something new here. So I think one of the biggest pieces of advice that I've kind of learned along the way in competitive gaming and just generally in business and stuff like that, which I've applied, is to generalize before you specialize. So let's go through that in terms of Marvel Rivals. So I used to play with my cousin, and this was Overwatch, and he used to use Soldier. So just to give you context for you that haven't played Marvel Rivals, sorry, haven't played Overwatch, Soldier was a very basic character in terms of he had an AR. He was very simple. And a lot of FPS players enjoyed using him because he was very relatable. So they were like, it's kind of like Punisher or someone like that. Someone like Punisher who's just a little bit simple, right? And he would just use Soldier. And when we would play rank play, he would struggle because if somebody else picked Soldier, he didn't have a second player to choose. Now for me, I would learn everybody. And at the time, I didn't realize why. It was just more because I enjoy the game more. But as I got older and played more competitive games, like Call of Duty on my main channel, I kind of realized that when you generalize before you specialize, what happens is you become really good at learning the game. So let me give you an example here. I'm using Psylocke in this gameplay. I'm not playing well. This is one of my first few games. But when I learned Psylocke and started to understand how Psylocke plays, I started to understand the strengths and the weaknesses. I started to understand how people were killing me and what I need to do as Psylocke to gain the advantage. Now let's fast forward and let's say I'm playing as, I don't know, let's say I'm playing as Thor, okay? If I'm Thor and I go up against a Psylocke now, my brain has already processed what strengths and weaknesses that Psylocke character should have, how that Psylocke would like to play, the spots that Psylocke would like to go to, and overall how I can play against that Psylocke as somebody that was once that character. What would I have wanted that Thor to do? I would do the opposite. So I would essentially play to my strengths. And I think the biggest thing I would say about gaming is if you can, or anything again, if you could learn to generalize, your overall game awareness will be so much higher. Let's go to another character. Let's say I'm Iron Man. I can know Iron Man's strengths, his weaknesses, the same concept. But what you start to do is the more you play, the more you start to learn, the more you start to just be able to adapt to situations faster than everyone else. So and another thing is, like, let's say I'm an Iron Man main, okay? But my team comp, we're playing rank play and my team needs a healer. But I'm an Iron Man main, I'm going to struggle. I'm really going to struggle. If my team has 40 DPSs, it doesn't matter how good we are, our team comp just isn't optimal. It just isn't optimal. So one thing I always say is the more you learn, the more variety you have, the more of a good team player you're going to be, and the more important you're going to be. Any team would want to pick you up because they're like, yo, this guy can play any role. This guy can be Iron Man, he could be a tank, he could be a DPS. You could do everything your team needs. And I think that's so crucial for success, because if you're just one-dimensional, you're going to be in a situation where, like I said, you're one-dimensional. Your team are not going to be able to rely on you, because if you get countered, let's say your team comp counters you, what are you going to do in that situation? Bro, I'm tweaking. Why am I checking all the settings right now? I don't know why. This is an older gameplay, so let's get rid of that. Let's just get some other gameplay out while we're talking. So yeah, like I said, like, I just think that's so important. So when I started off as Psylocke, I played it quite a bit and I realized, you know what, that's not to my strength. And another thing is me not being stubborn in that situation allowed me to try different characters, and depending on the scenario now, I'm actually able to quickly switch and give myself the best chance of winning. So if I feel like immediately my teammates are struggling and we need a support character, I'm able to get Mantis out. If my teammate has Mantis and I need another support, I'm like, all right, I'll be Rocket. I can just switch on the fly to give my team the best chance of winning. Same thing with tank. If I feel like we need a tank character and I'm like, you know what, I actually like playing Thor, I can also play maybe Groot. So just having that variety in your bag. And then once you learn all the characters, you understand the game a bit, and then you can start to specialize. I definitely think specializing is good, but I don't think you should specialize first, because like I mentioned all the points, I think you should specialize once you feel comfortable with everything else. Then you can say, right, I'm going to get really good at 1 DPS, 1 tank, 1 healer. So I have 3 characters in my bag. I think that's fine, but I don't think you should specialize before learning everything, because I think you're limiting your game knowledge, in my opinion. What a lot of people do is they watch the pros and they're like, wow, this guy's the best Wolverine in the world, #1 Wolverine, he's amazing at that. But I guarantee if he had to be someone else, he would still be an amazing player, because he's an amazing player generally, but he's just the best Wolverine possible because he's specialized in that character. But those type of players are good at any role, and the reason why they're such a good Wolverine is because they still understand the game to a level that you need to become pro, right? To become a top player, where the casuals kind of try and specialize without that understanding. And I just feel like a big missed thing is learning the game through one character. You lose so many opportunities, you lose so many lines of sight, and again, you're just going to be so limited because you don't know the real strengths and weaknesses of that character. So that's just something I learned along the way. I thought I would kind of share that message. Hopefully it applies to even one of you. That'll be absolutely perfect. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm going to try to do daily videos just through different topics, different character reviews, gameplays, just kind of everything that I can think of the more we play. I've not been putting too much time in this game recently. I've been focusing on my other channels, but I'm getting a little bit more playtime when I can. And then yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. If you drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys for another video tomorrow. Peace.